Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. This is such an incredible moment in time. What is your reaction to all of this?
Well, there's so much going on. You're exactly right. I was actually, like everybody else, I was very pleasantly surprised by Wayne County, Michigan, but then you see the harassment and threats that come out against those commissioners. And so then the vote gets changed. Then you're finding ballots 2 days in a row, over 5,000, pushing 5,500 ballots in Georgia. You've got a count that's going on in Georgia where observers are told they can get no closer than watching 10 tables at a time. You know, this is really a moment in time where we're saying, how do we get back to normalization of everything from our elections institutions to the institutions? You've got Hunter Biden issues that are coming up and whether those will be investigated. You've got a pandemic that's going on where the Speaker of the House has basically put a marker in for over $3 trillion when we have a $30 trillion national debt. And yet at the same time, we've got economic rebounding going on. And so this really is a milieu that I don't think most Americans anticipated at the start of 2020. And I think we're all anxious for 2020 to be in the books.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me zero in on two things that you said. First of all, in terms of Hunter Biden, do you really think that there's going to be an investigation into Hunter Biden and the business deals that he did while his father was sitting vice president, while Joe Biden is the president? I mean, do you really think that that's going to take place?
It certainly won't take place in the House. I doubt that it'll take place in if Biden becomes certified as the president. I don't know that he was going to allow the DOJ to investigate his son. The only place that it can be really effectively looked at is in the United States Senate. And the question is, do they have the will there? And I'm not sure that they do.
Well, do they also have the majority? That's really what was my second question, because, look, Congressman, if we know that there was bad behavior in Georgia with these thousands of ballots being found just in the last 2 days, why would we have any safety or any feeling that the Senate races in January were going to be secure and honest and safe? If there's cheating going on in Georgia, there's cheating going on in Georgia. I mean, will we be talking about a Democrat majority Senate after January 5th and then finding all these ballots and then all the progressive ideas get through?
Well, I am praying that we do a better job monitoring both the front end, and that makes me nervous because Stacey Abrams has already said there's over 600,000 mail-in ballots that are heading out the door. And I'll just tell you, that is where so much of this fraud takes place, at the front end, where these mail-in ballots go out. We're not getting verification. You're getting ballot harvesting. You're getting all of these things that go on where it's very difficult to track who's voting. And that is the part of the playbook of the Democrats. And then the second thing is how are the machines, whether it's the Dominion machines that we saw with features in them in Michigan that were problematic, and now they're blaming the found ballots in Georgia on Dominion as well. You're right, Maria. It does call into question the integrity of the election in Georgia, but we have a chance now, because you got two months to really try to put this thing together and make sure that we get it as clean as possible. But if the Democrats take Georgia, the leftists will be in control, and we're going to see a move to a neo-Marxian state.
But that's the thing. What are you doing about it? I mean, with all due respect, how much responsibility should the Republicans have for all that has not gotten done? We know what took place in 2016. We now know officially that there was a major setup. Hillary Clinton came up with an idea to tie Trump to Russia. The whole country was up in arms about collusion with Russia for years. You had evidence. You and your colleagues had evidence of it. You didn't bring enough people down to subpoena them, to question them. We have one guilty plea from one FBI agent. I mean, how much responsibility did you and your colleagues take that we are where we are? We knew that there was going to be cheating before this presidential election. Okay, so now we know there was. Yeah. What did you do about it? What are you doing about it now?
That's fair. That's a fair criticism, and we deserve that criticism. But what we need to do now is we need to be in there checking right now the mail-in ballot rolls to see who's legitimate, who's not legitimately on those rolls. We need to find out and get affidavits. We need to pursue this. We need help from the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice needs to be helpful. They are the executive branch. They are the branch of government where we ask them to do something, and that is to make sure our elections are full, fair, and transparent. We need their help. We need the executive branch's help. Did Congress do enough? Heavens no. But did the Department of Justice and the executive branch? Heavens no. We can make sure that we have integrity in our elections, but it requires the enforcement branch of government, the U.S. attorneys, to actually bring charges to bear on people who are committing fraud. We need the Congress can conduct investigations where it can, but we can't arrest anybody. We can't indict anybody. That is the enforcement arm of our government. That's where we need help from the DOJ. That's for sure.
Yeah, I understand. Understood. All right. So now Joe Biden is saying that there should be immediate congressional action on student loan forgiveness. This follows Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calling for Biden to bypass Congress and issue an executive action to cancel billions of dollars in student loan debt. Congressman, your take on this? He can do this by executive action, right?
I don't believe he can do it by executive action, and this is where we can do something, Maria. If he is usurping our legislative authority, this is where Congress has got to step in and bring litigation to bear on this. We have got to fight this where we can. And this notion that he's going to be able to go in and do hundreds of billions of dollars and just forgive that and impact this, what we call the student loan bubble, that we can't let that stand. That is a legislative priority if it's to be done at all, and I don't think it's a good idea.
Let me ask you, Congressman, what other changes would you expect from a Biden administration versus a Trump administration? I was on the phone with a source yesterday about China, and he said to me, Maria, I am scared to death that all of the things that this administration put in place in terms of pushing back on China will be reversed. Already you have the head of the Business Roundtable saying, remove tariffs. Let's have a fresh start with China. You know, no comment about the intellectual property theft and the forced transfer of technology there. And eventually, if you do that, China will continue dominating and ultimately dominate the United States. So that's one issue. But what else do you expect in terms of change from a Biden administration versus what we saw the last 4 years?
So in terms of foreign policy, I would expect multilateral trade agreements, which are always, they disadvantage the United States. I would expect him to try to reset something with Iran and change the policy that the Trump administration so effectively put into place. I would expect them to try to re-enter the Paris climate agreement. I think that's detrimental to us. I would expect him to try to implement a Green New Deal, which is going to be tens of trillions of dollars and millions of jobs that lost. I would expect him to do everything with regard to just expanding and the federal bureaucracy and federal power, for sure.
Wow. All right. A lot of change afoot. Congressman, we'll keep watching, and we hope to have you back to talk more about it. Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you, Maria.